Hey, Instagram, Robert J. Conley here. So I've been talking about intuitives now for a few weeks, and it is the focus is moving forward. Is going to be the focus of my talks. I've been doing these every weekday since the beginning of the year. This concludes the third month, and in this process, I shared with you that I would be inventing as I went along. And so the clarity that I've gotten is that the people I really want to speak to every day are the creators, the intuitives in our society, and helping to give intuitives the insights and the tools needed to move themselves forward and our society forward. Our future has always rested and continues to rest in our intuition. And so I had a great question because a lot of people have heard of women's intuition and they think of it as the ability to read minds. And there are people, both male and female, who can almost seem to read minds. They're highly intuitive in that way. But what I want to do is give you a breakdown of basically eight subtypes of intuitives. And so, a couple of weeks ago, I talked about empathy versus systems intuitives. And so it breaks down, that's our first subset. We can say there are systems intuitives and there are empathetic intuitives. And one of my mentors called this group Idealists. And so the four subtypes of idealists would be, first of all, what I call the inclusives. These are the leaders that are concerned about the community and about consensus and about harmony. And they will take a vision they will take the vision possibly of another. They could also have their own vision. But what is more important to them, rather than with some visionaries who want to even impose their vision on others, the inclusives want the community to buy into the vision and for there to be a consensus. And so, as I'm saying that, you can immediately tell, the inclusives, what's their, what's one of their target things? It's harmony. It's having groups get along. And so it's the ability to take that abstract idea that is a vision and to then have a community coalesce around it. The next subset of idealists we would call counselors. And counselors are honed in on bringing the individual into self-harmony and putting, putting the individual in touch with their own authenticity and in being in touch with their own authenticity, then having inner harmony, inner peace. And so that is what counselors bring to the table. They help all of us to be better on an individual basis, which then in turn can make us more effective and more powerful in our communities. The third group we would nickname a lot of nicknames, but the one I'll go with today is champion. And champions are the advocates. They're the outspoken, I'll say it, rabble rousers. It's not always chaotic, but they are the champions are the ones who will basically tell you what they're thinking, and they always have at least one cause. In most cases, many causes for which they fervently believe and for which they champion and for which they urge others to be better. And then the final subset of idealists we'll call healers. And healers are those peaceful people. They're oftentimes in holistic medicine. They're in just all kinds of alternative forms of mainstream things, for lack of a better way of putting it. There'll be the acupuncturist. Not all acupuncturists are of this subset, but healers fit into that aspect of just a true concern for the healing of humanity and for walking with people in pain. Mother Teresa was a healer, and she's just a prototypical example of what a healer is. So, we've got, remember, in intuitives, we've got these two subsets. We've got the idealists, and we've got what I call the logicians, or the logicians, logic-driven, systems-driven. So we've got the systems-driven, and we've got the idealists. And within the idealists, we have the inclusives, the counselors, the champions, and the healers. And, they prize empathy above hard-nosed approaches, or I don't want to say facts because they're not opposed to facts, but they're more concerned about empathy for others. And then the other group that we call the systems types are number one would be the field marshals, the natural CEOs, the Donald Trumps, Hillary Clintons, Jack Welch, anybody you see who's just charging ahead, all guns blazing. We're going to make this happen. That's a field marshal type, and so they have the capacity for abstract thinking that they then match with a commitment to bringing effective solutions and to just really solve things. The next subset of systems is masterminds. Now, masterminds are the people who see all the systems. A lot of masterminds are the people who like designed complex military systems. Anywhere you see a complex system, whether it's an atomic bomb, a computer, even social systems, if there are a zillion pieces to it, then you probably have a mastermind somewhere involved. If it's working, you've got a mastermind who can see all those pieces and put them together. Another one that just popped into my head is a fellow named Robert Moses. And for people that live back east, that's a known name. And he's the man who at the early parts of the 20th century molded New York City into what it is today. Love it or hate it. Robert Moses was a mastermind who saw all these pieces. The next group is inventors, and these are the groups that when they see a problem, they want to invent a new solution. There might even already be three solutions existing, but inventors inherently want to invent a new way to do it, and oftentimes do, and come up with these are the people who. For them, solving the problem knows no time, and the commitment is to solving the problem, to coming up with new solutions. And then the final group are what we would term architects, and they are similar to masterminds, but architects have more of a design focus, of a flow focus than the mastermind who is dealing more in hierarchical terms. So remember, those four subsets of intuitive systems-focused folks are field marshals, masterminds, inventors, and architects. And so I'm going to be talking more in the coming weeks just about the nuances of those types and what each brings, the challenges, the strengths, the weaknesses, and and my aim is to help intuitives see where it is they fit in that spectrum, and how it is that they can move the ball forward for the sake of all of our better lives. I'm Robert J. Conley, and that's what I've got for you today.